Mental health issues among UK university students has become increasingly severe. According to Govern UK, 92% of students felt lonely at least once during the academic year, and self-reported mental health issues are now 5 times higher than a decade ago, with rising anxiety, depressions, and emotional exhaustion driven by academic pressures and social isolation. However, these challenges are not experienced equally. International students report fewer self-identified mental health problems than domestic students, but with wider concerns and greater support needs. And significantly, they are less likely to access university mental health services. So, why the need exists, but the support not being used? We conducted surveys on how international students cope with stress and loneliness. From the 32 responses we got, many relied on private or informal strategies. Around 52% kept their feelings to themselves, while 43% of them talked to friends. Others coped through distraction such as watching TV, sleeping, and staying busy. Overall, the findings suggest that many international students suffer in silence or rely on informal support, often avoiding professional help because they felt their struggles were not serious enough or used to handling difficulties on their own. Through deeper interviewing and further academic literatures with desk research, we identify several key barriers. First, university mental health support is often perceived as over-professionalized and intimidating, especially at early stages of distress. Second, international students are separated from their original social networks, making emotional expressions more difficult. Third, language barriers challenge the expressions of complex emotion. Finally, cultural stigma discourages students from recognizing emotional distress. As a result, emotional struggles are often avoided or suppressed, increasing the risk of social isolation and depression over time. In analyzing the well-being pages of major London universities, we identify a clear misalignment. While international students often prefer informal, low-pressure support, most universities offer formal, language-based services such as counseling, helplines, and online resources. So, how might we provide approachable ways for international students to openly express their concerns so they no longer hide their struggles in silence? A growing body of research in art therapy suggests that structured art making can support emotional explorations and regulations, and is increasingly applied in mental health settings. As a low-pressure process, it offers an accessible starting point for expressing and reflecting on emotions. However, this approach is rarely integrated into university mental health support. Even in art institutions, art is assessed or evaluated rather than resources for well-being. So, could art and creativity be repowered to encourage emotional expressions among international students in art universities?
At the first step, we choose workshops as a familiar, low-pressure format for our students to test how creative making may support expression and connection. To design our workshops, we explored color and materials as tools for emotional expression, drawing from art therapy and design theory. Starting with color, Johannes Owen argues that color is not only visual but directly affects emotional and bodily experience. Color is often felt before language, influencing emotional arousal through hue, brightness, and saturation. We then focus on material through the lens of embodied cognition, which suggests that emotional understanding emerges through bodily sensation and interaction, not just cognition. To ensure the process was safe and well-guided, we consulted with a professional art therapist who helped refine the workshop floor and the facilitation approach. This ensured the workshop remained supportive, structured, and appropriate in offering a low-pressure entry point for emotional expression rather than a replacement for therapy. We conducted our first workshop experiment with a structured floor, a gentle introduction, a short reflective promo card, open making time, and optional sharing. Feedback and observation showed that the workshop supported not only emotional expression, but also moments of connection and peer support, helping foster a sense of community. This encouraging us continually use workshop as a way of addressing loneliness through peer connection and shared experience.
At the same time, we identify areas for improvement. Participants would benefit from clearer themes, more defined time frames, and having more chances to meet new people. How does the workshop work? We create a workshop room to present the spatial layouts and overall flows of the experience.
First, participants are informed of the topic and time, such as the beginning of each academic term, which are displayed around the campus and at the workshop entrance. We then briefly introduce how different colors and materials relate to emotions, helping participants better understand their expressive qualities. Directly asking participants what is your concern can be difficult. Instead, before the workshop begins, we provide prompt cards for participants to fill out. This helps them connect with their emotions and better engage in the creative process. Based on color psychology, we paired color ranges with emotion and sensation keywords to support participants in navigating and expressing feelings during making and sharing. To apply this, we introduce a short material touching phase before making, allowing participants to engage physically before reflecting emotionally. Next comes the art making stage. Participants freely choose materials and create their own works. During this process, they can express emotions through their pieces and also communicate with others. After completing their artworks, participants are invited to share their pieces and explain their choices of materials and colors.
这个铁丝跟这个绳呢，就我感觉有时候让我心情就是有点闷闷的那种感觉，一直缠着你。但是呢，它又不是那种很有攻击性的，就是让你有点点不舒服。
After the workshop, hand-drawn merch is given to participants as souvenirs, which they can decorate using the materials they worked with. Each piece includes a QR code linking to an online gallery. When participants scan the QR code later, they can revisit the workshop through the online gallery. From the homepage, they can enter the gallery where the workshop poster and view all artworks including their own. Each artwork is documented with material details, creator contact information, close-up images, and related works. Previous exhibitions can also be accessed through the menu. If professional mental health support is needed, the menu provides direct access to the university's counseling and mental health support webpage. We also plan to apply for a gallery space to present the artworks in a physical exhibition. At a system level, sessions will collaborate with student societies to offer multilingual option alongside English workshops, creating a more approachable entry point. Through low-pressure art making, the service acts as a bridge to existing mental health support. Materials are sourced sustainably, and partnerships with galleries enable exhibitions that recognize and encourage emotional expression.
Although the first workshop has come to an end, its impact continues. 1 week later, we interviewed Ronan, a participant from the first workshop. After the section, she reaches out to a professional therapist and attends an online consultation.
I open up and get a list of the ones from every student in the workshop, but I realized I need some more professional support. After that, I reach out to a professional therapist. For the first time, not everything is solved, but I feel better, like little and little.